So I am just on the BJJ Fanatics website, and what's amazing is now we've already talked about gravity is your friend, but there are 2 other instructionals that you might want to talk about.
Recently, I had the opportunity to work with BJJ Fanatics guy, and now we have 3 instructionals out there. We have Escapes Engineered for guys over 40. If you're 40 or more, hey, dig into it. Gravity's your friend. Sit-up sweeps. Been there for some time, and it's really, really getting a lot of attention. And then we have the Smash the Knee Folding Pass. Now, that's one of my favorites. So if you haven't looked at them, take a look. BJJFanatics.com.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
I do it just to annoy you. You know that, right?
What?
Just be annoying.
Well, it's your nature.
It is.
I don't think it's thought out. I think it's just you. Go ahead.
And we alive.
Yeah. So
yeah, if the comments prior to my clap don't make to the episode, Gary just told me that I'm mean.
no, I said by your very nature, you're just annoying.
Oh, annoying.
all.
Okay,
Yeah.
annoying. Same thing.
You're like a little kid. You know? You're trying to push buttons, and it's not really pushing the buttons. It's just like it gets an eye roll.
Well,
Ugh.
that's the purpose. I'm trying to make you tough.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh-huh.
That's
No.
true. Valid point.
Yeah, tough. I'm tough, I guess. I can take a beating. If that's what makes you tough. I don't know. What makes you tough?
I don't know. Hard times.
Hard times can make you tough.
Hard
Or
times.
I guess they can break you too.
I guess so that's interesting, right? So do you think that hard times can break you down, or should it make you will make you tougher?
I think it depends on how you deal with hard situations. And
Well, I'm talking about you.
me. I think it makes me tougher, probably. I don't shy away from the things that have been hard in my life, right? So either in my personal life or on, I always got to relate it to jiu-jitsu or on the mats or whatever. And then you learn to deal with things if you face them. So yeah, it can make you tougher, but if you don't, then it probably has the opposite effect where you now start avoiding situations that could possibly be tough. Or when something happens, you shut down, you don't know how to deal with it. It becomes a bigger issue than it needed to be. So,
Well, this is probably why a lot of people, leave jiu-jitsu or, quit it or take breaks and all the other stuff. You know, it's complex. It's some might see as difficult, complicated, layers, full of layers and so on. And instead of getting tougher and trying to figure out and get through the problems, they simply give up and go do something else.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easier that way.
Oh yeah, hands down, it's easier.
Yeah,
right?
always.
I mean,
But then does it have this compiling effect in your life where, you've given up on, so those people that when jiu-jitsu gets tough and they quit, is that how they've lived their life up to that point?
very likely.
Probably.
And I don't want to generalize everybody and put them into buckets and all that, but I think in general, I think there's, truthfully, I think there's 2 kinds of people. People who see a goal and they will do everything to get to the goal, and people who will see all the problems on the way to the goal, and they don't even see the goal at all. Right? It's the same path. It's just 2 different perspectives.
Yeah. There's a lot of I quit. I can't. I'm sorry, not I quit, but I can't. I don't know how's. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. I don't have this. I have that. This is difficult. I don't. I'm running out of time. I have to do other things and all. Instead of listing all this nonsense, figure out how you're going to do it. Mm-hmm. Simple. Like it. I don't know. Sometimes I lose patience on that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when we have topics like this or we talk about this stuff. I always think about like the kids in kids class and how when they have those little breakthrough moments of they realize they can do something hard, how it changes them, so 20 years down the road, I think when hard things come up, even tragic things, they're going to be able to deal with it, and those kids that don't get positive reinforcement, that don't get the push that they need in a positive way and aren't built up, I think those become the adults that, unless they have a major shift in their life and they really take control, I think those are the adults that probably when hard times come, when things become difficult or complex, they quit, they take that easy way that we talked about.
Well, you look at it from a kid's perspective. I was, as you were talking, I was thinking about actually the adults. Like there were so many people that, like these conversations often unfold, and this is not even jiu-jitsu related, just life related in general. They'll say, well, I'm here, I'm working hard and this and that. And there's like, well, are you? How much time have you put into this? Oh, well, I wasn't able because this, but I'm still trying. Well, trying is not enough, in my opinion. Yeah. Like trying is just effort. Like it action really what makes changes. Yeah. Action is what drives you towards a success, not trying or having a goal or having an idea or having a dream. There's an anchor point in which all this starts. Yeah. But action is what's really going to deliver. So are you here or are you not? Are you doing this or are you not? Are you executing or are you not? Because that's what it boils down to.
Sure. And I think those same people, the people who are doing those things, will still have moments of doubt or, they're going to criticize themselves or they're going to have, those plateaus that we talk about. But those are the people that are going to be able to deal with it. Those are the people that are going to be able to say, okay, why am I here in this situation? And then figure out a way to move forward. And the people who have spent their whole lives not dealing with things, and not learning from the hard times, are the people that are going to start looking for more excuses,
And the bottom line is the excuses are the only thing that separates you from getting to the goal. Like those are the obstacles. Yeah. They're excuses. Yeah. Because everything else can be fixed. Everything can be overcome, and everything else can be changed. Like it's what's important to you. That's what it boils down to, right? But and again, we talked about it so many times. I feel like sometimes these topics
they do pop up
the same way. It's like, do you want to be good at this or you don't?
Right.
Yes or no? If you do, then get to work, and if you don't, that's fine too. But don't be saying that you do.
Right. And
which one is it?
You take it off the mats, it's the same thing. It's, do you want your relationships to be better? Do you want your work life to be better? Do you want to be happier? Just through day-to-day situations. All that does take action. For some people, it's going to be harder, probably because of childhood, because of the teenage years, all those developmental years. If you weren't developing correctly, it's going to be much harder. So when it happens to you as an adult, it's a major shift. You've got to really sit down and make a major shift in your life. And it's not always easy, but it can be done. And because you maybe fail at it the first 2, 3, 7 times, you shouldn't stop. You should keep trying to make that shift in your mind, in your mentality, in your outlook, to get you to a place where you can be happier day to day. You can have a better relationship better at day to day. You can look at your job and say, hey, is this really for me? Yes, it is. I'm going to strive to do more. Or no, it's not. I need to find something else, a different career path or have whatever,
I think that we all have something that's disadvantaged to us. And some of us have been brought up in scenarios where we didn't learn how to react to these things. Others, we don't have the financial backing to do what we want to do. Others, language barriers, or living in a country which is not, friendly to what you're trying to achieve. Perhaps the dynamics or the hours that you're working or the situation and family dynamic that sets you, but the point is there's always something stopping us that's out of our control, right? The question is, in my mind, is what are you going to do about it? And I get what you're saying is that, maybe nobody taught us how to deal with these situations because the way how we were brought up and difficulties in our childhood doing development.
But nothing's going to change.
But nothing will change unless you take action. That's my point. Because maybe nobody taught you how to react to these things. Another person will say, well, I never had money to do any of these things. Another person says, I don't speak the language. So who are we to judge who has a worse situation? The point is, if any of those people don't take action and make a change in their life, how are they going to get out of that situation and make it more positive?
Yeah, you have to look. I think you need to look at those situations and say, how did I get here?
Right.
And now how do I get out?
Right. What am I going to do to change that? And I think a lot of people who are, brought up in the difficult times, those are the people who actually work harder not to get in those times again. Like, I think a lot of people who have experienced struggles in their life early on or throughout their life, they drive hard to make that change and not put kids.
Yeah, but I also feel that a lot of those people who felt all those ways, if they didn't know how to deal with it, if they didn't have the capacity to, then they turn into people who can't handle hardships as an adult. Whether, because we still have them. People come and go out of our lives. People, pass away. I'm talking about somebody close to you dies or hurts you in some way. And these people, they collapse. They don't know how to figure it out. They don't know how to navigate it. They haven't made that shift yet. Right. So they're either going to spend their whole life like that, or they will finally make a change.
Yeah. I agree.
And there's what's great, I think, about now is there's a million resources for people.
It's mind blowing.
50 years ago,
Jesus.
I mean, I look at my parents, the issues, were they able to at some point make a change in their lives to better themselves, to end cycles and things like that? One of them was, one of them wasn't. But I look at the resources that they had, and compared to now, they really had very, very little. You couldn't, if you said, as a man 50, 60 years ago, you started talking about emotionally what's going on with you, you're laughed at, you were made fun of. And thankfully things have changed to where now, maybe us, it was easier, and it's going to be easier for our kids. And that doesn't mean that they can't go through hard times and they shouldn't have to. What that means is they now have the tools at a much younger age to deal with them. And I think that's really phenomenal for the kids that we're bringing up now.
So let me ask you this then. So if the resources are so accessible and everything appears to be easier from that perspective, from a resource perspective, how come people don't do it? How come if I want to learn something, I don't pick up a book and go on YouTube? Or if I want to achieve, I don't know, when I open a business, I don't fill out a form and get it executed. Why is it so hard?
It's not so hard. You just got to take that action.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah. And so you have the tools, you have the resources for the vast majority of us, and they can go ahead and do things like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That's the harsh truth.
Yep.
That's the bottom line.
Because Stone Cold said so.
Go, get to work. Get to work. Hard time make tough people.
It can. It absolutely can.
Hey, Diego, so if you can't fix it, make it work. And I think that's
right. We didn't even bring him up.
We didn't even bring him up. Listen to that episode. Mind blowing. That one is close to me, but it's a lot of history.
A lot of history. And then towards the end of the episode, you find out some things that this is a guy that's still on the mats a few times a week, and you find out some things that had happened to him.
Yep. Talk about hard times.
And that's what we're gonna, that's what brought up this takeaway, is the hard times he's been through. So, are we done? What do you look all mad? You look all depressed. We just talked about being tough and
I'm not tough.
Taking action.
I just have a lot of passion.
All right.
Let's wrap this up later.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.